Well, if you were with us before the break, you'd have seen Cheuk Yiu come through, not without the odd alarm against Axiata, and the reward for these two players about to perform on number one court is a meeting with the defending champion tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Here they come. I think this is a really difficult match to forecast, Bobby. When we got the order of play last night, you kind of looked down, you think, yeah, I fancy him, I fancy her, whatever. This one, tricky.
Very tricky. I think it all comes down to form, really. Lakshya Sen, of his first 11 tournaments of last year, went out in the first round. But he's picked up over the last 4 or 5 months, and it was sort of the other way around for Cheuk Yiu. Round one exits in the 4 of his last 5 tournaments, but he's just beaten Christo Popov, the World Tour Finals champion, in round 1. So, really difficult.
It's 2-2 on the head-to-head, so that doesn't help. They actually haven't met for nearly 4 years. Last time they faced each other was that match on your screen, Swiss Open, early 2023, which Lee won in straight games.
Yes, sir. Service, receive, receive.
Just 5 spots between these two on the world rankings. Cheuk Yiu is ranked currently 18. He has been as high as 13. Nearly 2 years ago, however. I'll probably mention that victory he had over Christo Popov in the first round. The only World Tour title he's ever won was the Hong Kong Open, so his home event 7 years ago, where he beat Axelsen, Kidambi and then Ginting in the quarters, semis and final respectively. So you'd probably say he was a worthy winner. There's that victory over Popov, an hour and a quarter, 23-21 in the third. Best this year, final of the India Open, where he lost to Axelsen, that was a year ago. And on the other side of the net, 24-year-old Lakshya Sen. That high ranking some while ago, 3 years, just over 3 years ago actually, when he got up to 6 in the world. Might remember that. He was part of the India team that won that dramatic Thomas Cup gold medal in Bangkok 4 years ago. Needed 3 games to get past Jason Tett in the last round. 6 World Tour titles, including the Australian Open just a couple of months ago. Of course, he also had the disappointment, Sen, of losing the bronze medal match at the Paris Olympics against Liu Zixie.
Surprising week that was for me, given how he played in the run-up to the Olympics.
Ready to play.
Going back a while now, but he has certainly picked up over the last 4 or 5 months. Cheuk Yiu, this period last year was pretty good for him. He's already got half the job done this fortnight, protecting a round of 16 effort at the Malaysia Open, and of course he could do better, get onto the quarterfinals here with a win. But he also made the final at the India Open last year, and 2 of those tournaments within his ranking. So an important couple of weeks for Cheuk Yiu.
Of course, we'll be in Delhi next week for the 2026 version of the India Open. India also hosting the World Championships this year in August.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Lakshya Sen, India. And on my left, Cheuk Yiu, Hong Kong, China. Cheuk Yiu to serve. Love all. Play.
So here we go with a quarter-final meeting against Cheuk Yiu, the reward for the winner here.
One love.
Just a touch of reverse slice, made it look like he was going to hit cross then.
1-all.
Outfoxing Cheuk Yiu. Good shot.
Yeah, you can see Lee's movement was away to the right-hand side from his point of view. He thought Sen was going to go across him. Shuttle went the other way and he had no chance of adjusting in time. Grace Lakshya Sen plays with, isn't there? I thought that when I've watched him. Win, lose or draw, he's a very stylish individual.
Yeah, he's got a terrific base, a low centre of gravity. He's not the tallest, and I think shorter players have that extra ability. Very strong in the legs. He's a very quick mover. He looks so balanced all the time.
So it's over.
Doesn't often work. He's going to leave it until
Lakshya.
very, very late. Probably no more than, well, half a metre or something off the floor. It's never going to work.
Excellent rally.
So it's over.
Lakshya Sen waiting, holding the shuttle, firing it aggressively into that rear corner to set up this chance. There you go. It's on top of it so early. That's a terrific rally for Cheuk Yiu. He's just asking for a
3-all.
towel down, I think. That's what it's going to take by the looks of it today to get on top of Lakshya Sen. Cheuk Yiu wants to impose his big attack, but so far Sen is preventing him the chance to do that.
Thank you.
Perfect.
So it's over. 4-3.
High quality match so far, hardly an unforced error.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. High quality, every point.
So it's over. 4-all.
Good touch from Cheuk Yiu.
Service over. 5-4.
So quick at times, Lakshya Sen takes the shuttle so early.
Oh. 6-4. Service over.
Might be the first mistake he's made, to be honest.
6. Service over.
I think it rolled over.
5.
Did well there, Lakshya Sen, absorbing all that pressure. It's a bit of luck.
Well, it's really proactive from Sen, so quick to get into the net there.
5.
It was all or nothing. Nearly managed to divert that back into play. Lee, not quite.
I thought he'd made it initially. But rewarded for his initiative so far, Lakshya Sen. He's playing at a pace that Cheuk Yiu is struggling to keep up with.
Service over. 6-9.
Moved his opponent around the court so well.
Service over. 10.
Fabulous rally
6.
from the Indian. Controlling the corners so nicely as well, and that is impressive from this side of the court.
Cheuk Yiu, check. Is it okay?
I wonder whether the drift today is as impactful as it has been over the first
Thank you.
couple of days this week. Haven't seen too many out of the back behind Lakshya Sen. And that's where the drift has been to this point.
7-10.
All or nothing rally. Vicious there from Lakshya Sen to try and find the winner. Off balance. Good defense. intensity in this game, Trevor, is huge, isn't it? They're playing at such a pace.
Absolutely. It's kind of punch and counter punch so far.
And no time between points either.
And that will be challenged for sure. That's close, I think.
I think he found the line here. This would be terrific for Cheuk Yiu to keep this, to keep pace with Lakshya Sen here. But Hawkeye being employed.
Yeah, it's fine.
Unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. 9, 10, play.
Well, that'll work, and it gives Lakshya Sen a 2-point lead at the mid-game break, and really watchable when singles round of 16, 11-9.
Clock 1, 20 seconds. Clock 1, 20 seconds. Eleven, 9. Play.
Great rally to restart this opening game.
So it's over. 10, 11.
Tiniest deception and quality length. Cheuk Yiu turned aggressor.
It's been a good little comeback, actually, isn't it, from the Hong Konger after Sen looked the stronger player in the early exchanges.
It has, mate. I wonder just whether Lakshya Sen is able to maintain the pace of the attack throughout an entire match, especially if it goes the distance.
12, 11.
Lovely shot. Moving at that speed to keep his accuracy so high.
Thank you. Lakshya, on court. Show you. On court. No problem.
Bang on the line from Sen.
11. Line judge. Show it to the line judge where to mop. A quick one. Thank you. On court.
Oh,
14-11.
it's almost like both players are kind of taking it in turns to have little runs where they look long and unplayable. This was brilliant again from the Indian. Not deep enough from Lee, but still got the treatment.
It did, and the shot quality again. Lakshya Sen moving at pace. Just clipping it down with a short action to find the line is
So it's over.
not easy.
12-14.
Fantastic shot.
13-14.
Well, if this level continues throughout the entire match, we're in for a treat, really, because I don't remember that many mistakes from either player. Oi. Will he challenge this?
So it's over.
No.
15-13.
Got the play he wanted. He served to a particular place on the court with a particular speed to get that reaction from Sen. He was looking for it.
So it's over. 14-15.
It's a lucky result for Cheuk Yiu there. The anticipation from Sen, just couldn't make the shot work. Oh, he's
So
not
it's
happy
over.
with Lakshya Sen.
16-14. He's still stationary. Play.
I think he was over the net there. Look.
I think he's saying Lakshya Sen moved before he served.
Okay, right.
I think. From what I saw on that replay, Lakshya Sen just sort of did a little bounce. His feet didn't really move. He just loaded his legs to then be able to push off at speed. And that's okay. You haven't actually moved.
17-14.
Nice shot. Good variation from Sen initially. Needs to get
So it's over.
making more mistakes in defence than he is
17.
in that fast attack.
Always drifting wide.
So it's over. 18-15.
What a great battle at the net. That almost held up and stayed in.
Lakshya Sen
Well, he wants it
challenges
checked.
hold
Lakshya Sen.
out.
So Hawkeye will be on the case here.
First instinct, it was going to sail miles left. Just seemed to hold up in the air here.
challenge unsuccessful. No challenges remaining. Service over. 16-18. Play.
Good rally from Sen.
Well, that's just a superb piece of deception, assuming that this doesn't get overturned, because Lee wants Hawkeye on the case again.
Again, Sen's so quick. There was a point there, he played a net shot and moved forward expecting Cheuk Yiu to net back to him. He does that very often.
This looked fine to me, gotta say.
After my judgment this week on these, I'm not going to make a call here.
Bang on the line.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining.
Yeah, and I was impressed with the speed at which Sen was able to then recover to get behind the shuttle.
16, play.
No more challenges remaining for Sen, but we are getting pretty close to the end of this one.
20 game points.
So 4 game
16.
points for the Indian.
Service over. 17-20.
I think the first smash caught Sen in the chest. I think he sort of blocked it with his body and then played a shot. Certainly Cheuk Yiu thought so.
18-20. Lakshya?
A little bit of sportsmanship here, I think, from Sen, and why not? Got to slow down that little momentum Cheuk Yiu's created.
So 3 saved, 1 to go.
Good point from Cheuk Yiu. Instinctive reaction in the mid-court.
Missed that, and 4 game points have come and gone now for Sen. Does he have the wherewithal to still get himself in front here? Because that's where psychologically Phil Lee would have an advantage, having clawed his way back from the abyss in this opening game.
Been a gritty riposte, doesn't it, from Cheuk Yiu?
And having saved 4 game points, Lee now has one of his own.
All-out aggression, those 5 points in a row from Cheuk Yiu. Lakshya Sen has keep doing what he was doing.
Well, that's a really spirited comeback 22-20, having been 20-16 down. And Cheuk Yiu strikes first, improbably, and leads by a game to none.
Lakshya. Second game, level, play. Stop. So it's over. 1-love.
Well, it was a terrific fight back from Cheuk Yiu at the end of that opening game. He looked down and out.
Lakshya, show it to the line just where to mop.
Perhaps you could argue Lakshya Sen
Okay.
became a little passive. Certainly, Cheuk Yiu took a very aggressive approach.
On top, Lakshya. Love. Cheuk Yiu challenges called out.
Well, a great start for Lakshya Sen to this second game. Cheuk Yiu wants Hawkeye to take a look at that last call. Line judge got that one spot on.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. 4-love, play.
Yeah, left to right drift, just kicking in slightly there.
Service over.
Sen missing the corner and Cheuk Yiu off the mark finally.
4.
We mentioned earlier, Trevor, how graceful Lakshya Sen looks, and he's talking about his balance and general conditioning. And I was reading last night something I didn't realise, but Lakshya Sen actually relies heavily on his conditioning coach, a gentleman called Paddy Upton, who has a massive cricket background.
Yeah, I think it's almost a facet of modern sport now that there is this crossover between different sports, because every athlete now needs to be in absolutely top physical condition. You think back a few years, and there was some, how can I put it, slightly portly golfers. You don't see that anymore, do you? You absolutely don't. And because at the absolute top level, I mean, you look at these two here, I think it's a good example. There's not a massive amount between them, is there, technically? And sometimes it can actually come down to, you know, who was in slightly better physical condition.
Physical condition and mental conditioning being so important these days as well, and I think it's also one of the things that Lakshya Sen's conditioning coach works with him on. What to say, good rally.
3-5.
It's been a real cat and mouse effort at times here.
Thank you.
Fascinating character, Upton, you were mentioning. He was a absolute top-class South African guy, top-class rugby player, top-class cricket player as well. And he retired at 25. He did a sports science degree, and then he was involved with the South African cricket team, and then kind of switched codes 4 years later to rugby. And he's in huge demand across pretty much every sporting spectrum.
Yeah, that's who I was impressed with. I've never heard of the guy, but I think it was Gary Kirsten, former South African player that became head coach of the India cricket team, who first took him over to India, and it must be since then the evolution into other sports. But to see him referenced as a contributing factor to Lakshya Sen in badminton really fascinated me. Good recovery in this second game from Cheuk Yiu, who was down 4-love.
I'll tell you the other interesting thing, just while we're still on Upton, not just the fact that he's specialised in physical conditioning, but he also deals with the mental side of the game. And, you know, even you go back 20-odd years, sportsmen and women didn't have, you know, people looking at that element of their game, but now it's very common. You get the mind and body working as well, and you've got half a chance.
Yeah, we've got, even at home within Team GB, we've got sports psychologists, lifestyle practitioners, just giving players every element of support. And I haven't seen an awful lot of Lakshya Sen in the last 6 months, this sort of comeback he's had. But I did see him playing a lot throughout the first half of 2024. Challenge here on the back line.
Slightly delayed challenge.
And I was trying to work out what it was that Sen was struggling with. It seemed to me a little bit of physicality. He didn't look as quick as he does today, for the most part, and certainly lacked a bit of confidence. Oof, look at that.
Challenge unsuccessful.
Well, if you want to lift to a far corner, you can't do it much better than that.
6.
Tell you one of the sportsmen who was involved in the absolute, much not quite the start of it, but certainly very high profile, was the multiple world snooker champion Ronnie O'Sullivan, who employed a guy called Steve Peters, Dr. Steve Peters. And I think when across a whole range of sports, people saw that and thought, well, if a guy who's like one of the most naturally talented players in history reckons they need a mental coach, that was absolutely nailed by Lee. No intent, I don't think, but an appropriate apology. So he handles that straight at his opponent.
Fortunately, it hit him on a part of the body that isn't going to cause too many problems. But yes, psychological training. And to be honest, when I was playing, that was something I struggled with, at least initially, and when I was younger, coming through. It was a big learning curve as to how to handle the discipline of either being far behind in a match or being on top and staying focused. On the back line again, really playing with the lines here, these two.
Lee's playing superbly, isn't he? I mean, we're getting the full repertoire from the man from Hong Kong. Moving Sen all around the court.
And with the quality of shot as well. Starting to see, as you and I weren't able to watch that match against Popov the other day, as we were on court one at the time, but starting to see why he's able to beat somebody who arguably is in the best form of any men's singles player at the moment, Popov, after winning that World Tour Finals event just a couple of weeks ago.
7-8.
Certainly, there's no one as dominant, is there, on the men's side as An Se-young is on the women's. When we saw Cheuk Yiu earlier.
In singles.
In singles, yeah. World #1, world champion, won 4 tournaments last year. Which is great, but you know there are any number. An Se-young won 11. So yeah, my point really is that it's a lot more open on the men's side, and whoever wins this match, we said at the start we thought it was very difficult to call. It wouldn't be a major surprise, and whoever wins this match, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise if they went on to beat Cheuk Yiu in the next round, which is the opponent waiting in the quarter-final. Yes, Cheuk Yiu would be favourite, but not massively so.
I think if Cheuk Yiu gives his best from start to finish against one of these two, I would have Cheuk Yiu as quite strong favourite, actually. But the thing is, to be so consistent over such a long period of time, it's difficult. It appears difficult for Cheuk Yiu to put in the kind of performance where, at the end of the match we've just watched before this one, as Cheuk Yiu is sprawled all over the floor.
Yeah, that's the kind of net cord that's going to kill you. I mean, I remember in the World Championship last year in Paris, Cheuk Yiu nearly lost to Victor Lai. Victor Lai had match points, didn't he?
He did in the semi-final. Yeah,
and that's a guy who was ranked in 100 at the start of the season or something like that.
And that's part of what I wanted to say there was, you look at the match we've just witnessed an hour ago, Cheuk Yiu in the first game and the second game perhaps wasn't giving the full intensity behind his attack that he did in the third. And what he did in the third, he blew the guy away. I'm not sure, game after game, day after day, at his age now, he's able to commit to that level every single game, which is why we see him drop certain games or struggle against certain people.
Yes, all of which makes what someone like Cheuk Yiu is doing at the age of 35 ridiculous. The number of matches he's still ultra competitive in, and some of the big name players that he's still able to beat. I actually think it's good on the men's side. I'm not saying that it's not fun watching An Se-young, because she's wonderful to watch, but I think on the men's side it's just a little less predictable. Tell you what did surprise me, actually, talking about Lakshya Sen, was the way I thought he was going to beat Lee Zhi-Xiu in the Olympics. I was actually surprised he lost that match. And then I was surprised that Axelsen won the final so easily against Vinitsa.
Yeah, that's another thing.
11-8 interval.
Game interval here. 11-8. That's another thing where you've got these players like Vinitsa. Certain conditions, certain arenas, certain opponents either prove difficult or provide you with a really good opportunity, and the matchups, the draw, getting through the whole week against certain opponents. There's so much going on that can affect all of these players who are so capable in every area of the game. And it used to be, you go back 10-15 years, you go back to even the eras of Lin Dan and Lee Chong-wei, there were certain players that had terrific abilities and some flaws in their game. It might be a massive smash and a big attack, but not brilliant in defence. And yet you could get away with that 10-15 years ago. These days, all of these players at the top level have to have such a big all-round game that it sort of throws the door wide open.
11-8.
Just went slightly off the ball, Lee Cheuk Yiu, in the last few points. First half of this second game. That's a little bonus for him though.
11 equivalent.
What's happened here? They've just had the interval.
Yeah, that's it. This is very generous of the umpire, I think, to allow that to send that little break.
Ten, 11.
Well, not totally dissimilar to the first game. Both players having little runs of points here. Remember, Sen led 4-love at the start of this second game. Lee came back at him. Sen kicked on, and now we're back level after a little Lee Cheuk Yiu revival.
It's been a real treat, this match so far, hasn't it?
That's another beauty.
Terrific, and a great level being played out from both of them.
11.
And part of the reason why it's such a great watch is that both are trying to take the game to their opponent. It's not like you've got one aggressor. They're both being progressive every possible occasion. Did that drop in?
Just long according to the line judge.
12 all.
The thing is, a quarter-final at a Super 1000 at stake, at least. One of them guaranteed to get there, and that's pretty big these days, given the tour, how many tournaments they're playing. If you can pick up that kind of ranking points here this week, it almost means that you might be already committed to India next week, a Super 750. But you might then, if you've done well this week and next week, you might then think, hey,
13
I can afford myself a week off in March and not go to that 100, 300 that I was planning to.
Well, generally February's an easy month, isn't it, when they have the national championships, but there's no big international tournaments. And then of course when March begins, it's straight into the All England, so
13
it is a hectic schedule.
I also think there's a slightly different mentality. Has that just gone wide?
Yeah.
Slightly different mentality when you're playing. We said it at the very start, these two look very evenly matched. A few places difference on the rankings, two all head-to-head. Haven't met for 4 years, and I think that sort of thing's crucial. Some of the matches we've had this week, we were looking at a head-to-head yesterday, which was 9-0, I think. And I can't remember which match it was, because we've had quite a few. I think it was in the men's singles as well.
Well, we've had a few. We've had An Se-young 8-love head-to-head against Michelle Lee. And the 9-love was Vidit-san against Wong Su-wei.
That's it. And if they've met quite a few times recently, the head-to-head's 9-0. You almost go into the match with a sort of pre-scripted. You can't help it. You sort of know what's going to happen. Here, there's pride at stake. These two are actually genuinely look like they're treating this like a final.
Well, the other thing, obviously, a lot of ranking points at stake in these events.
Yeah.
Quarter-finalists guaranteed 6,600 ranking points, and just shy of 8,000 US dollars in prize money, and it goes up exponentially after that. Alarm bell's just ringing here for Sen.
I have to give credit to the general game Lee Cheuk Yiu, who's been playing there. I like the way Lee Cheuk Yiu always looks at his coach and something doesn't quite go right. There's a heavy involvement there, a team effort. I was thinking to myself earlier when we watched An Se-young play Nozomi Okuhara. And apart from the intervals, Okuhara's coach barely made a move, a gesture, certainly didn't say anything. And it felt like Okuhara was out there on her own. Whereas Lee Cheuk Yiu is turning to his coach, having a quick chat between every point.
Well, another compelling rally and another brilliant winner from Lee.
17-14.
Remember too that Sen had 2016 in the first game. So Lee has shown real resilience here.
He has, and he's one of those players. I've commentated on Lee Cheuk Yiu quite a few times in the last year or two, and when he's on a run, when he's confident, he almost has this aura, this look on his face. It's very intimidating. I've noticed since late in the first game, Lakshya Sen's body language just looks a little bit off. A little less confident than he did at the very start of the match.
Well, I think it was obviously very damaging for him to have surrendered that opening game after having 4 game point chances to get it done. Paying the penalty here.
He's normally very good in that position. Crouched, driving rally. And for me, that is almost cementing Cheuk Yiu as the quarter-finalists here. 4 points now behind.
19-14.
Wow, I didn't try to work out if that carried the net. That was unusual, flamboyant. Touch of reverse slice backhand.
Just about.
Service over. 15.
Well, we know there's no chance that Sen's going to hoist the white flag. Whilst there's life, there's hope. Would be ironic if, after what happened at the end of the first game, he comes back from this position to force a decider. May yet do that. Another cracking shot, and it brings up 5 match points for Cheuk Yiu.
What a way to create a chance to now win the match. Didn't look in position to hit that. Everything had to be timed so well. Brilliant.
Well, the first game was the key to it, really. He saved 4 game points, and that's the emotion that tells him he's through to the quarter-final. 21-15, he came on really strong at the latter end of that second game. And Lakshya Sen just couldn't compete. So having beaten the World Tour Finals champion Christo Popov in the first round, he has the scalp of Lakshya Sen in the second. And he's doing this the hard way because Cheuk Yiu lies in wait next. That's a big win.
That's a massive win. Brilliant watch, to be honest, all round. Probably my match of the week so far. We watched a great match with Michelle Lee and Unse Young, but this was magnificent. 2 games of the highest quality, so aggressive in attack. And I think Lakshya Sen will be... He ought to feel quite proud of how he played today. I don't think he will be disappointed in himself, but it's all about this man, Cheuk Yiu, and that reaction says everything.
So Lee wins 22-20, 21-15, 52 minutes, the official match time.
Thank you very much. Good job. Good job.
No shortage of autograph hunters and those wanting some selfies. And we'll see him again tomorrow against the world number 1, Cheuk Yiu. Well, we've got our first doubles action coming up. It's in the mix. Koga and Saito of Japan taking on the number 3 seeds, Purvaranyakro and Pausampran of Thailand in a couple of minutes. Well, a warm welcome back to our continuing coverage of the Malaysia Open 2026. Excellent crowds all week, actually. It's building up nicely again today. As we move on to our fourth match of this third day, and it's a mixed doubles. Koga and Saito of Japan taking on Purvaranyakro and Palsampran from Thailand. And the Thais will start pretty warm favourites here. Seeded 3. There you